And hello everybody, welcome back to RFC News. Rangers 2, Panathinaikos 0 at Ibrox in the Champions League qualifying round 2, first leg. Huge win for Rangers, and to be fair, for half of that game, I never thought we were going to be winning 2-0. Look, so much to talk about, of course. Russell Martin's first competitive game in charge of the football club. We're starting to see what our style of play is going to be going into next season. And of course, some of the new boys, the new signings, having made their first game. And of course, everyone's pretty gassed for Gassama. What an introduction from him as well. And of course, one of our own with Finley Curtis as well, getting onto the score sheet. So much to discuss in today's live stream, guys. As always, do let me know your thoughts in the live chat. We're going to be taking your thoughts and reaction in the live chat. If you're watching this on replay, get involved in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all that jazz. So, of course, first 6 minutes of the game, I felt that we were playing really well, actually. I was like, oh, this is something new from Rangers, attacking, actually completing passes together, and we looked pretty good. However, as the game went on, I felt the away side had much of... they were looking like the side that were going to open the scoring. If it weren't for Jack Butland on numerous occasions, a guy that was coming under a lot of scrutiny at the end of last season, then we probably could have been a couple of goals down, actually. You know, we were getting caught off guard all of the time, caught up with our defence getting caught, leaving massive spaces in behind. But that's probably the nature of the style of play that we're going to be playing under Russell Martin. However, that is a worry going forward, that defensively, you know, if it wasn't for Jack Butland, and credit to Jack Butland for making some crucial saves. As I said, it could have been 2 or 3 goals down before half time. So yeah, credit to Jack Butland. Good to see him come back with some good form and putting in a really good goalkeeping performance, and definitely played his part. So yeah, first half, I genuinely felt a lot of vulnerability from Rangers. I felt a lot of vulnerability, and we looked a bit shaky at the back. We were giving them far too much space. However, in the second half, things had changed a little bit. At the start of the second half, it was a bit of the same, really. And to be fair, again, Panathinaikos could have easily got a couple of goals in that second half as well. Same defensive vulnerabilities, us getting caught at the back, and of course, Jack Butland having to make a couple of saves. However, all changed when Finley Curtis scored his goal, and had an awful lot to do. A young 18-year-old boy as well coming through. We've been talking about the academy in recent years, and not really seen much players go on to the big time at Rangers from the academy. We've always seen a lot of hype, but they never really materialise. However, he looks like a special player, and listening to Neil McCann there in the commentary as well, hyping him up. Obviously worked with him last season. It was good to see a lot of confidence on the ball, and of course from outside the box scoring a beautiful goal, had all of the work to do, and it opened the scoring, which again changed the game for us, because I did feel up until that point it was probably Panathinaikos that were going to open the scoring, but as stated, it did change our fortunes, and incredibly happy to see. Going up just before the second goal, or just before the sending off, in fact, there was another big chance for the away side to get back into the game. And again, some more defensive vulnerabilities from us, but another good save there from Jack Butland. But then going up the other side of the pitch, the red card happened, and then that was it, really. I was rubbing my hands and going, look, we have a really good opportunity now with half an hour to go to maybe create a cushion going to Athens. Following that, of course, it was all Rangers. We were dominant. We showcased a lot of attacking quality going forward. I thought we were absolutely fantastic in areas, and we could have had a couple of goals, certainly when we had that man advantage. And then, of course, a few of familiar faces came onto the park as well. Dasses, Egerman, a lot of rumours and talk about his future at this moment in time, Egerman. And then, of course, the debutant Gassama. I've heard a lot about him, of course, from Sheffield Wednesday fans. A lot of people hyping him up. A lot of Rangers fans certainly excited about the impact that he could make, and what an impact he did make. First 3 minutes, he scores a goal. Similar goal to Finley Curtis. Had a lot of work to do. but gets us that second goal, and that changes our fortunes really for going into next week. It really does give us a cushion going into next week. And talking about the new boy, the second goal scorer, I felt like he showcased quite a lot. There was a really, really good pass that he put in as well, and that was just 15 minutes that he was playing towards the end there. And we've heard from Russell Martin that he's not fully fit and ready to go just yet, so it was certainly good to see from that point of view. But overall, super happy with a 2-goal lead. Going to Athens next week. It was not all to play for, but we've got a really, really good chance now to go through to the next round of the Champions League. We've seen the draw, where it's Victoria Pleasant or Servette in the next round, and it's a really, really good chance to get to the third qualifying round. No excuses now. We need to go to Athens. We need to play our game. We need to be a bit better at the back, but another week under our belt in training hopefully should iron out a few of those problems. Obviously, it's not all going to come together straight away. Russell Martin, we are still in pre-season. It's really, really early to be playing competitive fixtures, but that result will give us a lot of confidence going forward. It'll give the fans some confidence, I suppose, and just a bit of morale around the place. Yes, we got a bit lucky tonight, of course we did. And to be fair, you're allowed to have a good goalkeeper. We got a good goalkeeper in Jack Butland. We did get a bit of luck in certain areas. Other seasons that may have went against us, but you got to ride it, and we've got a really, really good chance now of getting to the third qualifying round of the Champions League. And as stated, on the other side of that is a really doable tie against Victoria Pleasant or Servette. Dropping into the Europa League, it would be a lot harder. Besiktas or Shakhtar Donetsk. So, yeah, I'm confident, and with a 2-goal cushion, we should get the job done next week going to Athens. But, yeah, happy days, Rangers 2. Let's go into the live chat. Let's get some reaction from some Rangers fans. Gary says, what a result. Craigie Boy says, yes, absolutely buzzing. The Blue Baron says, great result as well. I thought the big centre-half had a great game as well. I felt Suter played a good game as well. I felt he played all right. Max Aarons, there was a lot of hype about him. I felt he gave away the ball quite a lot. He didn't really look comfortable in the position that he was playing, actually, to be fair. I think naturally he's a right back, and the position that he was playing, I don't think he looked that comfortable. He gave the ball away quite a lot. I would say 3 or 4 times throughout that game, especially, and gave them a lot of chances. John Smith says, how bad is Aarons? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're seeing it all here again. Great result, but Aarons isn't a left back. And I didn't like the narrow back four. Didn't look good, and were flattered with that scoreline. Absolutely. Look, I don't think we necessarily probably deserved to win that game 2-0. It could have been a different score on a different day, but look, we've had the luck go against us many times, and I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. A 2-0 victory. If you asked me before, if you asked me at half time, we'd come away with a 2-0 victory. I'd have absolutely bit your hand off for it. So I'm pretty happy, but there is still a lot of work to do with this Rangers team, and you've got to understand that we're still in July. We're still in pre-season. There's still time to go. So we're not going to be the finished article just yet. David says, what a second half performance. Well done to Finlay Curtis on his goal and man of the match. And what about Gassama on the park minutes and gets his debut goal. That's what it's all about. You know, when you get a new signing, a star player that comes in through the door, you want them to do really well. You want them to get on the score sheet early on, and he certainly did that. And it wasn't just the goal. I seen a couple of passes, a couple of bits of movement that he was doing as well. He comes from great pedigree coming from Paris Saint-Germain. And really excited to see how that sort of pans out. But yeah, good result. David says, good result, could be better, but first game, hopefully it's onwards and upwards from now on. Exactly. Again, keeping Raskin is an absolute must. Yeah, Raskin's absolutely fantastic. Another great player as well. And yeah, it'll be good business for us to keep him this summer. Also, hopefully time to a new contract. David again says, we take a great lead into next week, and I think we'll score over there as well. Exactly. But it is a good result. It's a good result for the first game, and that's what it's all about for me at this time. You know, it's a good result for us, and it's all. I keep saying all to play for. We've got a really good opportunity now getting to the third qualifying round next week. And if we mess it up from here, then we've got ourselves to blame. But a really good opportunity. And as I stated, waiting on the other side for us in the Champions League, you're looking at those two teams, and I know you don't take anyone for granted. And you don't just take it and say that we're going to win these games. But looking at those two teams that you can play in the third qualifying round, it's a really good opportunity for us to get to the Champions League. It really is. I know you've got the playoff round afterwards, but it's a really good opportunity to at least get to the playoff round, which is £5 million in itself. And of course, if we win this, we're guaranteed European football. And yeah, you want to play the Europa League third qualifying round against Besiktas or Shakhtar Donetsk. That's not a good tie at all. Champions League is arguably easier. It was much easier, I think, if you're looking at it on paper. But guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comments with regards to the result, the performance, and what was the positives? What was the